Welcome to Sports Exercise Health Science. My name is Mr. Kubuske. Today we're actually going to get started learning, work our way through our Sports Exercise Health Science curriculum. We're actually, if you follow the IB kind of numbering system, we're actually going to start at the end and then work our way through the curriculum. So we're going to start in what they call the Unit 6, but we're going to call it Unit 1. And even inside that, we're going to screw things up. We're going to start with 6.3, which is all about components of fitness, which is what we're going to focus on today. And then in the later videos, you'll see the other subsections of each one of the units that we'll talk about. So again, we're just talking about components of fitness today. There are actually two different types of fitness, believe it or not. The first one's called health-related fitness. So these are components or abilities that you have just to be a healthy person or to live a healthy life and to stay healthy over a period of time. So there are 5 components to health-related fitness. The first one is like aerobic capacity or cardiovascular fitness. In other words, like your heart rate. Am I able to bring it back down to a very low level while I'm resting, and then get it up to not so high a level while I'm working out? And we'll talk more about heart rates here in a later section. Muscular strength. Okay, so how much can I actually produce? How much movement or force or work can I actually do with my muscles? Muscular endurance. How often or how long I can perform those tasks with my muscles over a period of time. Flexibility. How long will those muscles stretch in order to allow me to move? And then body composition. So we're talking about what is actually your body composed of. How much fat, how much muscle, how much bone, how much water. Obviously, there's a certain ratio we want to fit inside. But you have to keep in mind, you may type your numbers into like a BMI calculator online and things like that. And it may come back with a number and say that you're this, that you are obese or that you're overweight or this or that. But you have to remember that those are just based on just like an average for every person, and that you yourself as an individual are unique because, you may be 6'4" and 180 pounds, and that's like super skinny, as opposed to being 5'8" and 180 pounds. Now we might be talking about being overweight. So you really got to keep in mind that the numbers that you get back in your BMI might not necessarily be a true representation of who you are. But again, more about that in a later unit. The second type of fitness is called skill-related fitness. Now, these are skills or abilities that are going to give you a better chance at success in athletic activities. Okay, so these aren't necessarily required to be a healthy person, but they are required in order to be a good athlete. So we're talking about coordination. Can I control all the movements of my limbs and my body in space? And get them to do what I want to do and be able to control them. That's coordination. Speed, distance over time. How fast can I cover a certain distance? Agility, side-to-side movements, quick feet, and change direction type things. That's agility. Reaction time. When I see or feel a stimulus, how quickly can I react to that? How quickly can I produce a reaction through my nervous system to get my body to change or do something in response? Balance. Okay, now we're talking about fine movements of muscles here to keep me on balance. Whether it's one leg, two leg, on my hands, whatever. And then power. So now we're talking about force over time. So in other words, like how quickly I can do that muscular strength in a period of time and the result of that. So that would be considered power. So again, these are things that I need to be a good athlete, but not necessarily in order to be a healthy person. Now, chances are if you are a good athlete, you're already a healthy person because of some of the practices and things you're doing over time. But again, we'll cover that later on. Now, for each one of these components of fitness, there is a specific test. And the idea behind the test is that it should isolate and then measure one of these components of fitness. Now, what you need to do if you're a part of my class is you need to kind of go through our Google Doc and then find out that you'll find all of our different components of fitness and the tests related to them. And you're going to have to give me a kind of a brief rundown of what the test is, why it's a good test for whatever it may be, and things like that. But I'm just going to give you some quick examples right here. So like that aerobic capacity we talked about a little bit ago, there's actually 3 really good tests for that. One of them is called the Cooper's 12-minute run. So again, you can go back and look more on that. Muscular endurance, now we're talking about, again, ability to do a certain muscle movement over a period of time. So this is a max test. So how many push-ups can you do in 30 seconds? And then compare that to everybody else, or a minute, or whatever it may be. Agility, there's a really good test called the Illinois Agility Test that a lot of PE classes around the country use today, but it has to do with being able to move side to side and through cones. Reaction time, everyone knows about the drop test. You hold that ruler at a certain height, you hold your hand at a certain height, and then the distance that it takes to catch that ruler once it's dropped, that's your reaction time. You can compare that to other people. Body composition, we talked about BMI, the bod pods, underwater weighing, stuff like that. And then power. Really good test for power is actually the vertical jump test. got to think about what we talked about a little bit ago, what power is. That's being able to do that muscular strength in a period of time. Now, so if I give you a short period of time to show me that muscular strength, that vertical jump, okay, is that exactly what that is, okay? How much force can you power through and put onto that ground with your legs in that short period of time between starting the jump and being lifted off the ground? So that's a good test for power. So again, real quick, now we know our two different types of fitness. We know the components of those types of fitness, and now we know that there are tests for each one of those components of fitness. So hope you learned something. I'll look forward to seeing you in 6.4 when we talk about principles of good training programs. Have a good day.